Hey everyone, long time no chat. I mean, full of excuses, let's be realistic. 2 children, one of which is a baby, you know, a non-walking baby, so you've got to carry everywhere. 2 businesses, a house you're trying to renovate, a homestead you're trying to build, children you're trying to keep alive and fed and clothed and clean. I've procrastinated on the video front, but I've been watching tons of videos in this niche and I'm just so motivated. Every time I watch it I think, yes, I'm going to do a video, and then I come up with an excuse. So today I'm going to do a video. I'm going to show you the vegetable garden that I've been working on. Let's go. Alrighty, here it is. So originally this was just a slope going down. Then we got it scraped, leveled, because these are wicking beds, meaning they're self-watering. They have a water reservoir down the bottom, and in order for that to work, it has to be level, more or less. So the ground leveled out with a local friend, and he helped us out. Gravel laid so it wouldn't get muddy when we're working. I thought it was going to keep out the weeds, but it's not, because you can see grass and things growing here. Like, look at this. I got to get these buggers out. Then I got these boxes built for me, because there are some things I can do and there are some things I cannot do with children. This is one thing I cannot do, based also on time and, you know, safely putting them together with little people around wanting to help. I just paid someone to do it for me. So these are my wicking beds. These are they were pallets that got pulled apart and re-put back together again. And down the bottom is pond liner. So I lined them with pond liner. Nick drilled a hole in there for me. Then there's scoria, you know, rock. Then there's like a geotextile cloth, which I think landscapers use to separate different types of materials in the garden so they don't mix. Then there's all this really mushroom compost rich, poop rich soil on top. So what happens is we fill the water reservoir from here, fills up, and then when it hits full it'll start draining in here, so I know how much to fill it up. Otherwise I will just keep going and wreck everything. So it's taken me a ton of time to actually line each one with pond liner, which is expensive stuff actually, so I had to buy it bit by bit. Fill each one with scoria, geo cloth or geotextile or whatever it's called. Then the topsoil. I've done all of them one wheelbarrow at a time, little bit by little bit, with little people around. Sometimes I set them all up in the garden with toys and food and shade and whatnot, and I only get to do one wheelbarrow. Then I have to bring them all back in again because of rain, because someone's cracked it, because someone's upset, someone needs a nap, someone's hungry. So it's been very frustrating, but I'm almost done. I'm almost done. I actually want to get 6 more boxes because, as you can see here, I've got 2 rows of 3, then 2 half wine barrel pots, 2 rows of 3, then 2 half wine barrel pots. So I think I just need 2 more rows of 3, and then this area will be done. All my raised beds. I also like the idea of having raised beds because I don't have to crawl out on my knees all day. I think it will also keep the kangaroos out to a degree. I did some research and kangaroos will eat the stuff that I'm planting, but one of the best things to keep them away from the garden or the veggie garden, besides building a fence around it, which I am doing, but for those of my friends that are in America, kangaroos can jump really high. They can jump really high fences. So apparently they don't walk, you know, they don't like walk around. They jump and then they kind of put their, they use their tail and their feet to kind of move forward like this. So if you make it harder for them to maneuver around a garden, they're less likely to go into that space. So planting lots of bushes, for example, in a normal garden, not necessarily a veggie garden, they're not likely to go in those areas because it's a little bit more challenging for them to do it. So if the garden beds were just in the ground, if I just had rows of vegetables growing, it's very easy for them to just jump all over it and walk all over it and no care. Having raised beds makes it a little bit more challenging, fingers crossed, for them to actually maneuver their way through, so they're less likely to come in. And I'm building a fence as well eventually, but I've seen those buggers jump pretty high, so a fence is not necessarily going to keep them out unless it's crazy high, and I don't want that. I want to be able to actually look at my garden. Anyway, let's keep going. So Nick has been building me my little just plain wooden trellises. Heidi calls them tents. She calls them her tents. Anyway, and this is what I've been doing very slowly. So I have got a beautiful healthy thyme plant growing, which is just really healthy. I love thyme, it's one of my most favourite herbs. Thyme and parsley I love. This is raspberry growing. So this plant is just starting to peek through now. This one took a really long time for some reason, but I'm planning on making 2 raspberry arches. So I got raspberry here, raspberry there. I've got a plant in each corner of the arch growing. Oh no, it's starting to rain. Gotta be quick, Donna. Spring rain. So these are all raspberries growing, and hopefully this year, I'm pretty sure it'll only be 1 year and they'll cover it with beautiful raspberries. In this pot, I have French breakfast radishes growing. I'm very excited about these because they grow fast, and I can plant them several times throughout the year. So that's pretty cool. In here I've got my blueberry bush full of flowers. Full of flowers means full of fruit. Last year the birds decimated this. I'm gonna have to figure out how to protect my plants from birds because the cockatoos in Australia are vicious. They like to kill a lot of stuff. They wreck a lot of plants. In my little mini greenhouse tent thingy here, I've got some seedlings that I started inside that I've moved over. This tomato plant I bought, black Russian. I'm excited about that. But I've got cucumbers, I've got zucchini, I've got butternut pumpkin, I've got flowers, I've got corn, mint. This gorgeous mint plant, I got that for free. There was a local lady who was giving it away for free, and I took it. Why not? Sharing is caring. Let's keep looking. So let's just shut this up. I have my beautiful fig tree that I received as a gift. It's coming back spring. We're in spring at the moment for my friends across the other side of the globe. So this is coming back beautifully. I'm excited about having, maybe I'll get figs this year, hopefully. I don't know how many years it takes for figs to fruit. These are the last 2 boxes I need to fill, and then I'm done filling. Yay! I'm so excited. It takes so long to do them. And then I keep thinking, oh, but I'm going to get another 6 there. Oh, I can't be bothered, but I want to get them. I need the space. I've got too many plants I need to plant. Over there is just an extra garden bed that Nick built for me. So I'm planning on putting something that spreads there. So maybe butternut pumpkin or even watermelon. Here are some seedlings that I planted. Here is my one lone, I don't even know if you can see that, purple asparagus that's popped through. Now I know asparagus takes many years to grow properly, so and you don't peak the first year, so I'm just going to leave them. Little tomato plants growing. I am committed to having tomatoes early in the season and then planting, you know, every month a new seed, a new plant. I want tomatoes early, so I have to be very careful and protect everything from the mild frost that could still happen in spring where I live. Like tonight, I think the minimum is 2 degrees Celsius, which I'll put in here what that Fahrenheit that is. That's cold, so I need to protect them. And everyone thinks I'm crazy for doing it early, but I just can't help myself. I really want to try and get early tomatoes. Because once it gets hot here, it's hot straight away, and it's hot for a long time, so I've got lots of time to grow tomatoes. I've got more tomato plants here with plastic from last night. So these were all started by seed. They're probably not the biggest plants around, but I'm just excited at the fact that this started with a tiny little seed. You know a tomato seed? You've seen a tomato seed in a tomato. It's minuscule. What was I going to say? I did start them inside, not under grow lights, just using light from the window. I'm sure they'd be better if I used grow lights, but I don't have them yet. Here are all my strawberry plants. Bam, bam, boom, 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 boom. You know it. And here is the fence that I'm building all the way around. I've just started on the first corner, weaving different branches, different types of flexible branches in and out of renovate. So things like willow and hazelwood and things like that. On the other side of my fence, I've decided, oh, and obviously this fence is going to go all the way around. It's going to take me a while, but I'm not going anywhere. I have my little lavender hedge I'm growing. This is so stinking pretty. Great for the pollinators. Now, let me show you. I do have a couple other plants. I have one teeny tiny apricot tree that I planted. Just in here. So only one branch had flowers on it, but we'll see what happens. It's starting to leaf. It always astonishes me when you stick this stick in the ground. It looks like, you know, a bare-rooted tree. I'm not sure if you've planted a bare-rooted tree before, but it literally looks like you're just sticking a stick in the ground. And then when you see leaves growing on it and flowers blooming on it, you think, oh, that thing was alive. That's pretty darn cool. Now, the other thing that I planted, which is going to be years before I get any fruit, but it's pretty exciting. This tiny little stump of a stick. Got some cleanup to do in this property. For those of you that don't know, this was a deceased estate, so unfortunately the property was left pretty terribly with a lot of trash on it. We've been cleaning it up little bit by little bit. We've almost done. We really have nearly nothing to go compared to what we started, so that's pretty exciting. But I have a tiny little red currant tree growing. Yep, that's right. That little stump of a stick with leaves growing on it is a red currant tree, or bush, or tree. I don't know. I guess it's a tree. It's like a small tree-ish thing. And the last thing I'm growing at the moment, besides all the other plants I haven't planted in yet, because I have a ton. Let's go over here. Oh, this is going to be my future site for my chicken coop. Grass, like a creeping rose bush. Got to get these posts out. These are the last posts from the previous owner. They're a bit yucky, so we're putting in something nice. Oh, the sun's come out. That's nice. So I can record this. The last thing I've been growing is potatoes. So these are my potato towers. Growing potatoes vertically. So as they grow, I just keep adding more soil to the tower, so more potatoes can, what's the word, I don't know, grow, be produced. And then when it's done, you know that you can pull this out or knock it over, and you know all the potatoes are in this vertical area. Rather than having to dig down and finding them, I know they're definitely going to be in this zone. So I've got 3 potato towers growing. Next year, big learning curve, the weeds just get into it so quickly. I have to weed it so often, which I know happens anyway, but next time I'm going to plant these towers, these cages, in some kind of box or tub over on the gravel over there. So they're not so close to weeds, but these are some healthy potato plants. Pretty excited about that. Got to add some more soil to them. So, because obviously a potato, from what I understand, correct me if I'm wrong, let me move out of the way so the sun's not in my face. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure a potato grows out of the side of the plant, not just from the root. So the more dirt you add, the more roots form and then more potatoes come. So this is why you got to keep adding soil to it. And then when you get to the top and the tops die off, then you harvest your potatoes. So previous to living on these 2 acres, we lived in small backyards, and yes, we had veggie gardens, but it was like, you know, the gratuitous tomato plant, one spring onion plant or green onion plant, one pepper plant or capsicum plant. So we never did stuff in such bulk quantities, so I'm really excited about that because there's just so much space on here to grow so many things. And potatoes is one thing I never grew, so I'm very excited to try that. I'm excited to eat all my stuff when I harvest it. But this is what we've been working on. So besides renovation and me trying to get that going and keeping all the kids alive, it's just maintaining this beautiful grass pasture. This side of the property has lots of trees. This is our field, as we call it. This is where we do burn bonfires, in this patch here. It's where the original owner did bonfires, so probably wouldn't have done it done it right in the middle of the field. But that's where they originally did it. So until we find a new location, that's where it is. So no grass will grow really there at the moment until we stop burning. That's about it. I don't know if you remember, if you were an old time viewer and you were watching last year when I was vlogging, we had a ridiculously sized fallen gum tree there. Like, I'm talking huge from a storm. You can kind of see where there's no grass. It was a huge gum tree that had fallen. It's taken us a year to slowly chop it up, stack it, clean it up, but it's clean and it's magnificently opened up the space. Used to be an area we used to really avoid because it had very long grass, couldn't have access, covered in barbed wire from the previous owners. Made me very nervous for snakes and other things like that. But now that it's all clean, it's just marvellous. Look at all those beautiful yellow flowers. They're weeds, but they're so goddamn pretty. They're so pretty. I love seeing them. So, that's what we've been working on. I really would like to try and get into vlogging more regularly. So comment below and, ask me, where's the next video? What's going on? Force me to do it so I can get back my momentum. You know when you go to the gym or you do something, it takes so hard to get going, but once you're going, you're good. I need someone to help me get going. I look so tired, so please excuse lack of sleep from babies. But hopefully we get going. You'll see the garden flourish. I'm so excited about it. There's so many other things I want to plant. So many things. I want to plant sweet potatoes, but I don't think I need to amend some soil, make it loose and healthy and take a lot of the grass away to have a big patch, and I just haven't had the time to do it. So I'm just thinking this year might not be the year because I really need to plant them now if I want to do it, but which is a shame. What can I do? Oh, the one thing I didn't show you is, one second. Before we sign off, I would like to grow something on this arch. So this was an arch that was left behind by the previous owner in a different area of the garden, and I dragged it here bit by bit by myself, and it's got some creeping rosebush dying on it because I ripped it out from the root. But this beautiful arch, on my plan, is to have the doorway to the chicken coop, which will be here. But what should I grow on it? I'm tossing up between like a passion fruit vine, something that's going to be there always. I don't want it to die away. Like, I understand in winter they might not be green, but I don't want it to die away and then have to replant every year. So I'm thinking like a thornless blackberry bush or a passion fruit vine. Is there something else? Is there something else that I haven't thought of that is like, where is it? There it is. Is there something else that I haven't thought of that is a perennial or grows every year or fruits every year? Let me know your thoughts. Comment below if there's something I haven't thought of that will grow in Victoria, Australia. Have an amazing day. I hope to see you really soon. Bye.